I got the best pizzas. Oh my lord. You know what? Is pizza healthy for you? Yes or no? That's our first topic. Second topic, how do you get your proteins? And third, do prayers really work for your health? Okay, Magnus, how you doing? Wellness Week Live, everybody.
I'm awesome. Yeah, I we were talking off there that I just visited Washington. I never been Washington D.C. I never been to Washington D.C. Before, and it amazing experience of actually seeing like all the cool buildings and everything that you just usually just see in like movies or on TV or anything like that. But I got to see it with my own eyes, which was awesome actually.
Yeah, I mean it is. Yeah, it is awe inspiring for sure. But yeah, so now, and DC is not known for pizza, but let's talk about pizza. By the way, folks, don't forget like, subscribe. We're getting our ass kicked here in Jersey, and he's out in California. Help us out, people. All right, so now look, pizza. Pizza. I don't know. It's one of those things. I mean, is pizza healthy? Magnus, you're a nutritionist. You have a biochem PhD. If someone asks you, I'm asking you now, Magnus, is pizza healthy for you?
And then the answer is it depends. So I mean, like I hate to kind of label food bad or good in any way or form. It all comes down to like the amount of whatever you're eating, right? I mean, like we do understand if we're eating basically cheap fast food pizza or frozen pizza every single day, that's probably not gonna be a good thing in the long run.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. If you're eating the commercial shit pizza, that's the shittiest flour, shittiest tomatoes, shittiest everything, shittiest cheese. I can tell you this is funny because actually I am an expert with this. I have a brick oven pizza catering business, and I personally make pizza from scratch. I make the dough from scratch, the sauce from scratch. The cheese, I don't milk the cow, but I can tell you, yeah, I mean, even the dough, there's cheap dough and there's good dough.
Yes.
So we
time.
use Antony's Pizza. And that's what it's called, Antony's Pizza. We use a thing called Double Zero, so it has less whey, and it has it's not as rich with gluten. It's not gluten friendly per se, but it has less gluten in it, and it's the best flour you can buy. And then we use a high-end yeast, and then tomatoes, we make our own sauce. So that's gonna now, but I think the problem is this: you're eating flour, and flour is a processed carb. So I think that's where it might not be healthy for you. But the cheese, the tomatoes, basil.
Yeah, but I mean, it's again, we can like if unless you're like super against carbs. I mean, like it's not going to kill you. Again, it's not probably the best one, but I mean, again, it all comes down to like food quality, and I would say, and again, like having pizza, well, like say once a week, if you're actually getting the good pizza, or every other week or whatever it is, it's not gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Here's another thing that I do like to add, though. If you're having pizza, I suggest that you also have like a good serving of a salad or greens or things like that. That's like one of my major tricks of not eating too much pizza.
Eat the greens before the pizza.
Exactly, or like actually enjoy it, like start eating it, like having like vegetables. I always like if I doing like if we go and get pizza, I usually like steam cook some broccoli or have a big salad, or we order a big salad with it. And not drenched in all sorts of weird dressing, though. But get your greens as well. I mean, you can't just say, "Oh, well, it's I have tomato sauce on it." Like, no, man, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. By the way, I mean, and to your point, for you or I to have pizza once a week might not be an issue, but for the average American, I would say, my opinion, pizza once a week's a no-no, because you got guys and girls out there that I eat pizza once a week. I had 3 slices. That's 3 slices every week. Plus, on Monday they have hamburgers. Tuesday they have tacos. Thursday they have cupcakes.
Exactly.
It's like, no, But anyways,
no, you're right. You're right, and it's like looking at it like. We always talk about you have to look at like big picture. I mean, and I always talk about big picture and like the 80-20 rule. If you eat good, healthy, or whatever, nutritious, let's call it nutritious food, whole food, 80% of the time, you have those 20% where you actually, okay, I'm gonna enjoy pizza and some ice cream or whatever your cup of tea is. But again, don't go and eat pizza several times a week, especially that like basically fast food or frozen pizza stuff. It's not good for you.
Right, 100%. Okay, so now
Yeah.
let's move on to protein. So
Yes.
now, Magnus, how do you get most of your proteins?
I would say it's Whole Foods. Like
No, but I'm saying like from what Whole Foods?
Yeah, I'm starting saying that I focus on Whole Foods to start out with. I'm not the biggest supplement guy. I mean, I do use some protein powder, but mostly I would say it would be some kind of animal products. So meat, chicken, cheese, some other dairy, like a lot of Greek yogurt, for instance, eggs. Those are the ones that are like we're talking about, with full essential like protein source. So they have all the amino acids, they have the right amino acid count, things like that. That's basically where
and you're not frying. You're not frying, right? You're not eating fried chicken, right?
No.
Fried chicken's bad, people. Don't do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, especially when you also have like with the fried crust and everything like that, it becomes same thing. I mean, it's breaded stuff. I mean, it becomes more of a almost like you're not getting the proteins out of it at all. I mean, you're making it. But I think that one of the major problems that I see is that people are actually eating too few proteins for what the goals are. If they're trying to lose weight, they're not eating enough protein. If they're trying to gain muscle, they're not eating enough protein. Of course, you can overdo it, but I usually recommend people like taking a gram. Usually a gram per pound of body weight, or about, I mean, like normal body weight for sure. So with that comes to, that's about 2.2 grams or 2 to 2.2 grams per kilo body weight if we're looking at the international kind of weight standards. So I'm trying to get like, I weigh around 180 pounds. I'm trying to get around 160 to 200 grams of protein per day, give or take.
Right. Yeah. So for me, I'm similar to you, although I rely more on fish for my protein, eggs, but I don't touch.
Of course, seafoods. I should say fish and seafood too.
Yeah, I don't touch too much chicken. I don't touch meat, red meat. I don't touch pork. 9 out of 10 times. I do have some meat, but nowadays it's more fish, nutritional yeast, eggs, and that's how I get a lot of my protein.
Yeah.
And I do supplements of late. I think I did a whole show on this, but yeah, I did Kachava or AG1 or Huel. So that's been of late where I'm getting also proteins from. But I'm usually like you. I'm not a big supplement guy. So okay, yeah. So very interesting.
Like one of the where I would recommend people that if you're following a vegan diet, you will have a problem getting protein, like enough protein. So that's usually I recommend then having some kind of vegetable or plant-based protein powder to fulfill it, because it's hard to get if you're trying to get like 200 grams of protein from a vegetarian source. It's hard, especially when you're trying to get the right, like we're talking about essential amino acids and everything like that. It is hard. Of course, it can be done, but it's like for most people, even if they've been following a vegan diet for quite some while, they're not getting enough. So I'm sad to say.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So you have to be very watchful if you're going to be going vegan, and do your homework and make sure you're getting that as close to proper ratios and mix for your protein,
100%.
especially if you're active. But okay, so third topic about health and wellness. I thought about this today. So I don't know how religious you are or not, and this is not about religion per se, but like, do you think because you hear these articles every so often that say,
Mhm.
prayers can help people heal better, or prayers, when people are praying for you and you don't even know it, you tend to heal quicker than if someone doesn't get prayers. Now, I've heard these studies before and read them, but I mean, I don't know. All right.
It's
So,
hard.
do you think prayers, Magnus, work for healing and helping one's health?
I think like
Your opinion.
yeah, like following a religion, and I mean, we're talking about placebo. Placebo is super important, but it has been proven that if you're following religion, prayer, things like that, it's actually helpful. Would I say that it's the only thing? No, I mean, it's a thing, and I think it's the same thing if you are a little bit more, how should I, yeah, I mean, like if you're connected in some kind of way to feel like you're part of a bigger organism or anything like that, like a bigger, of course, I mean, because you feel like you're important and you're a part of a community, and people are supporting you, which is usually like prayers and religion are about. So I think that has more to do with than anything else. I mean, you are connected to things in a bigger, more purposeful way, maybe.
Right.
And I think that, like, you, again, the mind is a very, very strong thing. So it can, like, thinking yourself into health, I mean, has been proven to work a lot. People say, like, constantly, like, saying, like, I'm gonna be good, I'm gonna be healthy, I'm gonna be able to walk again, I'm gonna be able to do this and that. It's the power of the mind is incredible. And I think that prayers
is an extension of that.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
Yeah.
And
So
I don't have anything against it. I'm like this. If anything works for you, besides, like, if it's like criminal or hurting other people or hurting yourself, like, do it. Like, everything that helps you getting better, that are okay, so to say, within the law, like, do it 100%.
Yeah, no, I agree. For me, I would say, as just a direct thing, I'm someone that goes to church. I'm not a religious person, but I go to church, and I'm the Christian, persuasion. But I would say, for me, my advice to people would be, like, kind of what you're saying. Hey, look, if it works for you, do it. As long as you're not hurting anybody, knock yourself out. For me, I no longer, life's a journey. But when I was younger, I would pray for shit like God's a genie. And I remember my pastor always says this. He says, don't ask God for things, because God's not a genie. And and it's so true, because now, as I'm getting older, I see how sometimes I've prayed so hard for things in my life and they didn't turn out the way I prayed them to be. Who passed away, who got sick, who didn't get fully recovered, and so I stopped asking God, my God. Everyone has their own gods, whatever. But I stopped asking my God for shit. So now what I do is, if I do pray, if and when I do pray, I just ask God to just walk with me, be with me. I don't ask God for shit, because so many times you ask, so many times I've asked, and maybe God gives it to me, whatever, or maybe God doesn't. And so I'm not playing that game. So God's not a genie. And so now I just, what, God, just please walk with me. That's it. And
Anthony, I think that God is not a genie. I actually haven't had it, like, said to me that way before, but I think it's genius. It's something that is so important, and it also kind of puts a little bit more, like, you're in charge of your own life.
Well, that's it,
right?
Bro. And that's the old me would pray for shit all the time. And now my other phrase is, if you're praying for something, you didn't do your homework.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, when I was in elementary school, I would always pray so hard before the test, and then I would fail. I wonder why? Because I didn't fucking study. And then when I would study, I didn't pray. Guess what happened? I got a straight A. So I didn't need to pray. You know what I mean? So, and I get it. Sometimes things in life are uncontrollable, and you got to pray. But most things in life are, you don't need to pray. Like, do your fucking homework. You know what I mean? It's like, if you, if you want to not have lung cancer, don't smoke. You don't have to pray not to get lung cancer. And I get it. Anybody can get lung cancer that doesn't smoke. But let's be honest, 99% of lung cancer patients fucking because they smoke. So like, it doesn't take a prayer. Just maybe pray that you could have some discipline or extra to try the 19th time to quit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, again, if I don't want to have type 2 diabetes, then get the fucking cookies out of your goddamn mouth. Like, praying you ain't gonna pray away type 2 diabetes. Just stop fucking eating cookies. And if you don't have the control, get fucking help. Like, I'm not Superman. I fuck up too. But like you said, the power is within us. God gave us a fucking brain. Use it. Don't. So you praying is nice, but you gotta put up, my man. Like.
It comes down to this, and I think that this is kind of the most part where people need help with. It's accountability, and when it comes to those things, it's having someone to report to, or someone that actually might point you like in the right direction.
Report to God. Report to God.
Exactly. I mean, like, I'm not saying that a coach or a teacher or someone that is God. I'm just saying that they could be helpful to candidate. And I think that is another thing that religion is good for. That, okay, going to church, you have to show up. You have to go to somewhere, and you also have to like say like, have I been good? Have I been bad? And I think that has a very like powerful like thing to help people out with. It's 100%. Like, okay,
it helped me out as a child.
Yeah. I mean, and it's the same thing. It's like we hear this, showing up is half the battle. I mean, and that is basically the half the battle, because also it put a little bit of pressure on you. You don't want to show up and not have done your homework.
God helps those who help themselves.
Yeah.
Don't slap God in the face and you're praying, but you ain't doing shit. Then don't even pray, because God helps those who help themselves. You got to stop with this, and I have so many people in my life. You're going to get me going on a tangent now, Magnus, but there's so many fucking finger pointing, lazy excuse making fucking assholes out there that just, they like, you know what? No. And listen, I'm saying this because I am a sinner. I am weak. I look at my arms, spaghetti number 8s. Okay. I'm not some fucking specimen, and I'm broken, and we're all weak. But you know what? God helps me if I help myself. Again, if I study, guess what? I'm more than likely going to get an A or a B. Like, you can't fucking not study and pray and hope to get an A. That's a smack in your particular God's face. Don't do that shit.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
No. I mean, I think that is super, super interesting, like saying that. And it comes down to also like you need to help yourself to help yourself. Like, and that's the thing. That's the same thing also, like surrounding yourself with good support. You shouldn't have a ton of people that you go around telling, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Because the only thing that you're getting like that short dopamine kick of that you're telling someone to do something different, but you're actually not doing the work. I mean, do the work. That's what it comes down to. I know. And that's another thing that I think it has been kind of labeled incorrectly nowadays, is that like living somewhat like of a healthy life has become a negative thing. Okay, I don't drink alcohol. You're boring. Like I don't go out and eat crappy food. Oh, you like, you need to treat yourself. And so on and so forth. And I think or that or you're at the gym all the time, or whatever the reason is, like, that needs to change. Like, we need to actually say that it is actually okay of being healthy, and actually point things out that excess of basically everything is going to hurt you in the long run.
100%,
so
dude.
and all these fancy word, balance and moderation, like we heard that BS all the time, but what it comes down to, that you need to find what that is for you as an individual. When it comes to
I mean, it's get yourself a nutritionist or a dietitian, folks, and listen, don't get me started. Anyways, but all right, that's all I gotta say. Magnus, anything else on your end?
That's all I gotta say too. I think that like we kind of talked of some interesting things today. So I mean, and again, like I said, we started out with pizza. It could be good, but it could most definitely be bad for you too.
That's right. But anyways, thanks everybody. Magnus, thank you in Southern
Thank
Cal
you,
here in
Anthony.
Northern New Jersey. And everybody, don't forget, like, subscribe, share with somebody you love. And thank you, everybody. I'm going to sign us out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.